Hey guys, I'm back again. Today I'm going to be comparing the new OnePlus 11 with the Google Pixel 7 Pro. In terms of prices, they're both in a similar range. The Google Pixel 7 Pro was initially released at $900 and it's been out for about 4 months now. If you go on Amazon, you can find it for about $750. So I'm just going to use that as the baseline for today. The OnePlus 11 base price is $700. For the 128GB model, you get 8 gigs of RAM. And if you pay $800, you get the 256GB model, which gives you 16 gigabytes of RAM. Google Pixel 7 Pro is 12 gigs of RAM across the board, so at $750, I think it's going to be a good comparison just in terms of prices. Google fit right in the middle there. And OnePlus, you can spend more or less depending on how much storage and RAM that you want. The 800 models get you 256 gigabytes of storage, while the smaller model get you 128. In terms of battery life, both phones have 5000 milliamp battery. I'll give the slight edge to OnePlus here with the newest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, along with the 80-watt fast charging, and the charging brick is included, by the way. For Google, you don't get any charging bricks, so just something to keep in mind when you're looking for the best value. Both phones have a 6.7-inch display, 120Hz refresh rate. OnePlus for the first time promised 4 years of software updates, so you're going to be supported until Android 17. Pixel, on the other hand, is only supporting 3 years, so Android 16 is the latest you're going to get that. Google, on the other hand, you're going to get the faster monthly updates. OnePlus is a little bit slower. I'm currently using the OnePlus 10T and still on Android 12 for whatever reason with the US model. Both phones have 5 years of security updates as well, so you plan to keep them in the long run. They will be solid options. The Pixel 7 Pro and the OnePlus 11 have under-display fingerprint sensor. OnePlus generally have the better implementation. Google, for whatever reasons, had a bad reputation since the Pixel 6. They have fixed it since then, but no one seems to have forgotten. I'll give OnePlus a slight edge here for their fingerprint sensor implementation. They generally tend to be more reliable. Both of these devices have stereo speakers, so you can expect to get some loud volume, get you into that. In terms of the differences, OnePlus 11 got the new circular camera modules in the back. I personally think it looks pretty ugly. You can argue both phones look ugly. Google will get that bar in the back as well, but it is subjective, I guess. I personally prefer the Cyclops Pixel look, but it all depends on your personal preference. With the Google Pixel 7 Pro, you are getting wireless charging, which is nice. I know a lot of tech reviewers are complaining that the OnePlus 11 does not have it, but on the other hand, wireless charging is nice to have, but most of the charging capabilities out there are between 5 to 25 watts. So in theory, you could be leaving your phone on your charger all day just for that wireless charging capabilities, versus compared to the OnePlus and the super fast charging, you can achieve the same results by plugging your phone in for like 5 minutes. So I don't think it is that big of a deal. But hey, if you absolutely need wireless charging, then do not get the OnePlus 11. But I personally prefer the super fast charging over the wireless charging any day. And I think that's the path that OnePlus took as well. With the Google Pixel 7 Pro, you are getting IP68 water resistant, which is nice if you want to swim around the pool with it. The OnePlus 11 is only IP64, so just don't go in a pool with it. I don't think water resistant is a big selling point for me anymore. Most of these phones, if you walk around in the rain and get splatter here and there, I wouldn't be swimming with any of these phones. I tried to do it back in the days with the Galaxy Note and also the Galaxy S8. I actually brought the Galaxy S8 to the Blue Lagoon in Iceland. It's like an outdoor giant hot spring, and that pretty much knocked my phone off the whole trip. It just would not turn on or charge. I had to wait until I get back to the States to ironically put on a wireless charger to revive it because the port just would not turn on. Yeah, since then, no more using phones in pools or a large body of water. Extreme heat can be challenging because the water, even though these phones are water resistant, there are still tiny water particles that get stuck inside of the charging port. And then Samsung, ever since their Note 7 fiasco, they have been super careful with how they handle their charging and their battery capabilities. So any low speck of water, they just would not even charge the phone through the port. So in general, I try to avoid getting water into these charging ports, even if they are water resistant. But that's just like a mini rant aside. With the Google Pixel 7 Pro, you are getting the better proven camera despite many improvements in the OnePlus 11. Basically got the 5x periscope zoom and just better software refinements overall, just in terms of all the photo qualities and video as well. This is the third year with OnePlus and the Hasselblad partnership. That is the same company that shot the first photo on the moon. Whether you believe the moon landing existed or not is another debate for another day, but still a reputable company nonetheless. But I don't expect major improvements there for OnePlus on the camera side, so we'll give Google the edge. And for Google, the biggest selling point has always been software, and software. You're getting free VPN, a super smart recording app that allows for transcription. You can search your notes, very helpful for work and school. Bunch of phone screening capabilities, such as filtering out spam calls when they come in. And when you make outgoing calls, it allows you to transcribe all the menu for you, so you don't have to listen to all the prompt. You can just read it on the screen and select the option from there. All very useful day-to-day features that will make your life easier. Although with the Pixel 7 Pro, I do want to point out that after using it for 30 days, I started having Wi-Fi and internet issues at the end. For some reason, the phone would just get totally disconnected and I cannot access the web at all. Then I would need to restart the phone and it will work fine again. And that was happening to me at least once a day or so towards the end. I have read on some Reddit thread there were some people that experienced the same, but I figure it is something worth pointing out. But if you experience that issue early and identify that, I would reach out to Google and try to get a replacement as soon as possible. I don't think the issue was widespread, but I personally did experience that. And with the Google Pixel 7 Pro, the chip is not the best in the world. I mean, it got all the cool software features, but in terms of game performance, I noticed that the phone does warm up after playing for like 15 to 20 minutes. Not to the point that is ever concerning, but just something to monitor if you do have the Google Pixel 7 Pro. All the games handle just fine though. For the OnePlus 11, it is the definition of the shape of power, which they kept talking about during the presentation. You're getting the latest and greatest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, which is the best that Android have to offer. Even the Gen 1 chip is better than the Tensor G2 for Google, so there is no doubt I would expect higher performance here with the newest Gen 2. No overheating when gaming compared to the Pro. With OnePlus, you generally get the better fingerprint sensor for whatever reason. They just do a great job at it. Super fast, super smooth, and responsive. And OnePlus 11, you are also getting the alert slider. It is a small hardware feature, but useful for those who want it. It's on the side of the phone. You can slide it up and down. You want to mute or unmute your phone. I mean, you can always just toggle your notification and turn it off that way, or turn your volume all the way down. But I've always been a fan of the alert slider. And with the OnePlus 11, I would expect awesome battery with the new chip. But I do want to point out that currently I'm using the OnePlus 10T. And when I first got it, I did have really good standby time with the battery life, and by week 4 or 5 I noticed the battery start to diminish. Not sure if all the fast charging is catching up to it, but just something to consider. I mean, it's two different phones, but regardless, still from the same company, and they claim that these battery life should last you for years to come. But just my personal experience, I'm not getting awesome battery life like I was in my early days of using the OnePlus 10T. So in conclusion, it all comes down to, once again, the battle between pure hardware specs versus software. OnePlus, you're getting the newest powerful Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip for all your gaming need. Top it up with your 80 watts fast charging, which is included in the box. You can get the phone back up to 100% in less than 30 minutes, which is awesome. For Google, you're getting the better camera, all the software features, so it all depends which one you value more. Let me know which phone you think is better. Thanks for watching. Please check out some of my short videos if you haven't already, and see you guys in the next video.